In this video, we are going to be going over the Unit 1 practice test for fall 2023. This is going to be the same practice test for both honors and standard. The test will be different, but the practice test is going to be the same. So whichever class you are in, I hope that this gives you some guidance and help and prepares you for your Unit 1 test. Let's begin. This video is going to be going over the front page of the practice test dealing with this piecewise function. All right, so the first thing is we have a piecewise function here, graphed, and we're going to be asked a series of questions. Which function could represent that graph? So one of the things that you can do to help you visualize what that function should look like is graph it in Desmos. So I would graph this in Desmos. Pause the video and see if you can start typing in each of these, and you can edit these a little bit to change them so you can get the one that works. So I would go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and try. As you can see, I have choice A graphed. And if you see how I graphed it, I used the curly brackets around the inequality symbols. So if you look over here, you're always going to put the curly brackets around those when you're graphing them in Desmos. Don't forget that negative there. And that doesn't quite match up here with what we have in our graph. So we're going to go ahead and type the other ones in until we get the ones that work. Again, I'm going to pause the video and have the next one available. Here's option B. Looks a little bit closer. They're going to zoom in a little bit, see if we can look at some of these key points. Right here, notice that it does match up that -1, -1, 1, -1, 0, and 4, -1. It looks like we have closed circles for both of those, so that might be a good candidate right there. Another thing that we're looking for is we're looking for undefined or open circles there at that endpoint. So if you notice here at the coordinate 4, 5, that's undefined, and the coordinate here, while it doesn't give us an open circle, you can tell this is going to be open circle because of that less than. So this is actually going to be our answer. This is going to be an open circle here at -1. So that corresponds to here. And then this is going to be -1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to, then this is 4. So that kind of matches up this option right there. And you can see here x is greater than 4, open circle. So all that signs point to option choice B. So when you go through those, graph them, look for the open circles, and remember these are going to be closed because of the equal to sign. So closed there, and this is going to be open because of that greater than. All right, question number 2. Now in question 2, it says evaluate them. Now you do have the function here graphed, but it's actually easier just to look at the graph instead of looking at the function here to evaluate. So when I'm evaluating f of -3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to -3, -1, -2, -3. I'm going to report my output. So f of -3 is the y value here at -1. Because that coordinate is -3, -1. So f of -4 kind of covered that up. But if I go to -4, -1, -2, -3, -4, looks like it hits that coordinate right there at -4, 2. So f of -4 equals 2. So if I add those together, -1 plus 2, my answer should be 1. So f of -3 plus f of -4 will be -1 plus 2, which is 1. Number 3, how would you classify the interval -3 to positive or -1? So if I go to -3, here's -3 right here, and here's -1. Now if I look at that, from -3 to -1, you're going to notice that that graph is below the x-axis. Now part of it's going down, part of it's going up. So you can't classify it as a increasing or a decreasing because it goes up and down. So the best you can do on that one is to say, since it's below the x-axis, it's going to be negative. And I'm just going to write below x-axis. Remember, positive is above the x-axis, Negative is below the x-axis, and here's the x-axis. Decreasing is going down as it goes to the right, and increasing is going up as it goes to the right. And since this does both, it can be neither one of those. All right, question 4. How would you classify the interval x is greater than 4? Circle all that apply. So again, let's look at the one over here, x is greater than 4. That interval seems to be going up, so that's going to be increasing as it goes to the right, but it's also going to be positive. So it actually has two of those characteristics. So the x is greater than 4 because it's going to be above the x-axis, and going up, it's going to be increasing, and it's going to be positive, both of those intervals. And the last one, is the function continuous? Yes or no? Well, the answer to that is going to be no, because it's not connected. Continuous function, you'd be able to basically draw it without lifting your pencil up. And since that's the case, not the case here, with those gaps going on in both of those places, it's not going to be continuous. All right, the next video will go over the next section. Thanks for watching this one.